don't think that'll be much of an issue. So now I'll just apply the glue stick. I'm going to put it on the spar, and I'm going to lift it up and put it all over the hem area too, which is getting harder and harder to deal with. I'll just do it like this. It's not too critical how the glue gets spread, I don't think. And we'll do the same on the other side. And as you can see, some of the glued portions of the paper here came loose during that rowdy approach to gluing it. But we're going to fold over this hem right around that leading edge spar, and we're going to hope it holds well enough. I think it will. Kites are surprising in the relatively small amount of air pressure that's actually on the kite surface. Sometimes it feels like a lot, but it's really a very minor amount in most cases. The larger the kite, the more wind it'll catch, or will be affected by it a little bit more dramatically, of course. So there we have the kite. Well, we're going to complete the bamboo buka now. One of the things, the next thing we're going to do is attach the tension line to the back of the leading edge spar. I have made a slip knot here, and on the tail end of the slip knot I tied an overhand knot as a stopper just in case the line might be pulled through it somehow. And I'm simply going to loop this around both of the spars that are at the corners here. And then I'm going to simply leave this line loose. I'm going to tie it right here with a couple of half hitches to this side. At least I think I will. And maybe I'll put 3 of them on here. I want it to be fairly secure, but I'll also add a drop of super glue, which I did also for the other string tying that I did on the spars. I just did that before the video started. And the thing about the tension line here is I'm just going to wrap the line when I want to tension the kite. I'm just going to bend it, bend the spar however I want it, and then wrap this line around. Well, let's see, that may not work very well. I don't think it will. So I'm not going to do that. We'll try something else. I was thinking it would just wrap around the leading edge spar, and it would be a really nice simple thing to do, but instead I'm going to use a same kind of adjuster that I used on the other buka that I made on the video. I'm going to make a loop out of about a 10-inch piece of line, or 8-inch, end up about a 3-inch long loop. Then I'm going to get a piece of line, and I'm going to make a prusik knot and tie the loop to this piece of line. Now the prusik knot is a lark's head that's double. It just goes around the line, goes around the line once. Okay, it goes around once and then goes around again. So it's really just a double prusik knot. You can make it 3 if you wanted to make it even more secure. This holds very tightly and it allows it to be adjustable. And then I'm going to lark's head this loop right here. Well, no, see how would I do that? Yeah, I'll lark's head this loop to one end. I just do this and pull it around, and that creates kind of a loop like that. And I'll put that on the end of the spars here. And then what I'm going to do is tie the other end to the other corner. And this can be any kind of a knot that'll hold well. And again, I'm going to use super glue when I'm finished to make sure it does hold well. I don't trust my knot tying that well. And the other thing I'm going to do is I'm going to tie a little loop right at the end of this line here. Make a little loop to grab onto, and this will allow me to adjust the line. You could use a knot just to make sure that you can grab the line, or a loop, whatever. And this way, now what you do to adjust it, if you want to tension it, you hold the prusik knot and you pull. First you straighten it out so the prusik knot is unlocked. Then you pull the line through the prusik knot until the amount of curve that you want is achieved. Then you pull this tail end line back towards the other end of the kite, and that locks the prusik knot, so the kite is then tensioned. So we're going to straighten that out, flatten that out again, and put the bridle on. The bridle is a 3-point bridle on this kite, and let's see, use a needle, I think, large-eyed needle to thread the line. The line goes through the front. I measured 2 inches on either side of the center of the spine in order to locate the connection of the bridle on the upper yoke, and this gives a good spacing for a kite this size. It could be more or less. It's not 100% critical one way or the other. It does change the stiffness of the upper spar a little bit if it's a little farther apart. The space in between the two connection points is a little bit stiffer than the rest of the leading edge spar. So, well, I'm going to make this about, well, I think I'll put it down near the center of the kite, not quite. Make that upper yoke that long. It's not, doesn't matter too much, I don't think. I've never noticed it to be an issue. Then I'll take another piece of line and I'll fold over one end so that there's a 2 or 3 inch loop, and I'll tie an overhand, or I like to tie a figure-8 knot just to hold it. Trim off the end. Then we're going to lark's head this directly onto the loop we just made. Just put the loop underneath the yoke and then put the knot of the loop through the loop and around the yoke line and pull the whole thing through it, and then tension it right along the center of the spine. Now we're going to locate the lower bridle connection point, and here I'm going to put it a little bit below the center point where I have a little reinforcement on the skin, so the paper won't tear as easily around the bridle point. Now here I'm going to shorten the total bridle length so that it is long enough to just almost reach the corner, the upper corner of the kite. Not quite, maybe a 1/4 to a 1/2 inch short of that.